Good morning, everybody. It is February 8th and 9:45 in the morning. Getting out a little bit late. Val doesn't start work till 12:30 today, so hung around a little bit longer. So today is going to be, I think, a couple of different projects, but kind of using up that auger and getting the jobs done that require the auger. Went to Home Depot yesterday and got a few goodies, bits and pieces of things. So we'll show you that, and let's get to it. All right, guys, the first thing we got was actually off of Amazon. It's the best price I could find. These are breathable mesh planter bags for the trees. Hoping that there was mixed reviews on it, but overall pretty good reviews. You know, comes with two handles, and we'll just transplant our little trees into these and be able to move them around easy and be able to hold on. And we'll use these until they decompose. I think they decompose after a few years, but this is pretty cool. We got another thing here that I got delivered by Amazon that I haven't opened yet. This is a tree. Hey, I go where I can find the best prices or where I can find a product that I couldn't find somewhere else. All right. This is a Russian pomegranate tree. Little twig on there. Not quite what it looked like on the photos. The tree was a bit bigger, but this is in really good shape. So anyway, we got ourselves a pomegranate tree. All right, when I was at Home Depot, I got a couple of the plumbing connections that I'm gonna need. I didn't need to buy them now, but since I had the attention of the guy in plumbing and we were talking and he knew what I needed, I was like, why not just buy these right now? And that way I don't have to waste time the next time trying to figure it out. So this is gonna be for the outlet coming out of the accessory house, the small house, going from that to the septic tank. These are the connections it's going to be. All right, yesterday I went to Home Depot to get that temporary power pole. That was a chunk of wood, 6 by 6 and 16 feet long. I couldn't hardly pick up one end by myself. So there was no way I'm going to be able to bring it in my truck. It's way too big and way too heavy. So I'm going to have to schedule that with maybe a delivery of lumber or something I'm going to have for building the house. So I guess I'll be postponing that for a little bit until I get my first delivery. I did buy a grounding rod. And again, I was able to get a hold of the electrician guy there who's been in Home Depot for 30 years. He knows what he's doing. And then the grounding connection for them to hook the wire to. So I might stick this in while I'm up there today. All right, the next Home Depot purchase yesterday was these heavy-duty T-posts. I just bought 4. I have a couple of smaller ones that I had found on this property I might use in the centers, but these will be the corners of our little nursery for our trees. I went ahead and got the most expensive heavy-duty. I said I can use these forever and ever on our property wherever we move them, instead of buying the cheap ones that are bendable and don't last long. And I decided to go ahead and say, you know what, let's go heavy duty, make it last a long time and withstand the deer and stuff if they push up against it. And it's tall enough, 7 foot, that if I have a 6-foot wire, hopefully the deer can't get into it and over it. This is the pipe that I bought to be a fill-in to go under the foundation. The correct pipe is not this pipe that you would actually use, but that pipe was $10 more than this pipe, and I thought if I'm going to have to cut it in half to reserve those spots underneath the foundation, remember, one is going to mark the spot where our septic is going to go out, and we're just getting that in there before the foundation goes, so we won't have to drill through the foundation. This will go under it. And then the other half we want to lay in to catch water when it rains, so it has a flow out. This is still expensive to me. It's almost 25 bucks. So I'm sacrificing a $25 pipe. However, this is the size of the pipe that goes inside under the house for plumbing. So maybe I'll be able to use it if I need bits and pieces, and I can cut it up and use where I need short pieces and stuff. So I did think ahead and thinking I can use this at some point, but if I'm going to sacrifice a pipe, I'd rather cut this one instead of the other one. Is 35 bucks. So I don't want to do that. The other thing I got was mailbox. This took me forever to try to figure out yesterday. I tried all kinds of different considerations. I tried 4x4s. They have pre-made posts already. I was trying to think what's the cheapest way, but then my time is worth something too, so I didn't want to get into woodworking to make a fancy post or even a simple post. It's going to be seen by everybody and be out at the street, and I don't know what I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I settled for this, just a simple black metal post. Still kind of expensive. I was surprised how much it cost just to install a mailbox. I also bought a bag of cement that I'm not going to pull out. Anyway, that's probably going to be one of my projects today, is try to get this. I bought a couple different bits and pieces, and hopefully I can figure out some solution. I feel like this wasn't quite tall enough. Definitely costs more than a 4x4, but I figure this will never take any maintenance. I don't have to paint it. I don't have to do anything. So, yeah, we'll see what we're going to do about that, but hopefully it'll get a mailbox installed today. All right, I'm out here where the power pole is going, and I'm trying to develop a technique that I'm getting more dirt out. So what I'm doing is I'm lowering it in, letting it spin for a while, and then pull it back up slowly, and it's pulling more dirt out, so I can eliminate that post hole digger. So I'm practicing right now and see how that goes. So I'll show you guys what I'm doing here. So what I'm doing there is trying to go up and down and pull, and then I come over here with my hands, because I didn't bring any other tool over here, and kind of move this out of the way to create a spot for it to keep pulling dirt up. So that's what I'm trying out right now, and see how that works. Okay guys, I'm learning as I go. So I did do that technique, and it got basically all the dirt out of there. There's not much loose dirt there. But what I am seeing is it did seem to go down probably about 4 feet, 3.5 feet. But it's because I'm down here and that's up there. And I feel like if I were to kind of take a hoe or something, or a pickaxe, and pick this out a little bit, I would be able to lower my drilling a little bit deeper. So when the time comes, if it doesn't seem like it's deep enough, that's probably what I'll do. I went ahead and dug another hole. Total overkill, not necessary, but I didn't know how hard the ground was. I didn't want to have to pound this stake through the first 3 or 4 feet of dirt. So I dug that, and I have a post jammer rammer thing that I can go ahead and hit that down further if it needs to go. All right, next project I think is going to be the mailbox. So I'm going to go down and get that stuff from the truck. The warning is on this: some assembly required. So I went ahead and stayed down here at the truck and took things out of the box to make sure I have everything. And then I thought, yeah, better to assemble everything here than out on the street. All right, this is one of the more challenging spots, is keeping this mailbox straight up and down. So I'll show you how this works. They give you where you can mount from the side. Here's a screw hole, and you mount it into that. However, they're not universal, so these holes are not matching up with those holes. If I move it down a little bit, they're off no matter what. Take my word for it. So that just started falling this way. So then I saw on the directions, I was like, oh, awesome, because I thought I was going to have to drill holes. You can actually do it through the bottom. So I got all the holes lined up here, so I can screw it in from the bottom. Better deal. I like that. This is a little tricky, balancing this whole thing in reaching in. There's always, you know, that ideal where you can, ideal tools, and maybe have a workbench or something. I don't know. I don't know what would have made this easier. All right, if that hole's not going, we'll do this one first. There we go. So, a little bit tricky. Putting a washer and screw on the inside, nut on here on the bottom. But this is exciting for us, guys. We have a mailing address. That's establishing some residency. This is our home. Gonna be our home. It's exciting. This is kind of fun for me. All right, so this is a little bit my next challenge. Hold a screwdriver in my left hand. Whoop. Tighten these guys down. Bit of an awkward position. Yeah, it would have been easier if I had using my cordless drill, but it's down in the shed and I don't want to walk all the way down there. I had screwdrivers here, so not bad. All right, guys, I'm out here at the street ready to make an executive decision. I was thinking about putting it down there by the neighbors, but then I thought, once we're in and everything's settled and done, every time I want to get my mail, I do not come from that direction. I come from that direction. So I would be pulling in to my driveway here. I would have to get out and walk all the way down to there. So I don't want to have to walk all the way down there along the road every time. That's being a little bit lazy on my part, and it would be most convenient for the mail person there, and we wouldn't be cutting off right here, as that was the concern, is I'll have delivery people coming in. There's the post, come across, but I don't think they'll go down in this ditch. So I feel like if I put my mailbox right here, I can park, get out, and get my mail. Actually, ideally, since you're driving, you would get out right here and pick it up on this side. That's what would be ideal. Unfortunately, this is kind of her property, even though I maintain it so far. Since I've been here, I've been maintaining from this post over, and all this they haven't touched. It's kind of been my thing. So if I were to put mailbox right here, that would be great for pull in and just to reach out and get my mail. Oh, this is a hard decision, because if I put it right here, I think most of my delivery guy is coming from this intersection or from this end. The mailbox would be right in the way. Eesh. All right, I gotta think about this. Alright guys, that's it. I'm pretty happy with the location. I actually thought I was a foot further this way. I kind of went off of what they had down there between their mailbox and Google. Theirs is 6 feet off the road. Mine's about 5.5. Well, from the white line. So I don't know if I should have been a little bit further off the road. And then theirs was about 40 at about right here, and mine's at about like right here. So I don't know if you saw there in the video, I kept having to pull it up. It was weird. I put cement in the bottom, kind of followed the directions on the bag a little bit, and I should have filled in the hole a lot more. I thought I was so much closer to the top, even I was measuring it, and it still came off. So it should have been higher. Before I put my bag of cement, I put some cement. So the directions said put 6 inches of cement in the bottom, as if you were putting a post. Mailbox, probably not the same. Doesn't have to be nearly as strong as like a post holding up a fence. But so I put that in the bottom, took some gravel that I had down there and threw some of that in there, and then kind of mixed some cement and gravel back and forth, putting in there, pounded it with a little sledgehammer, and stepping on it, smashing it down. It's pretty sturdy now. I didn't add any water, first of all, because I don't have any running water, and water's kind of precious from my water tote. And on top of that, in about 2 days, it's supposed to rain for 3 days, anywhere from 30 to 60% chance. So I'm hoping that at some point that'll get wet in this week sometime, and that'll sink it in a little. But it's pretty steady. It's not going anywhere. I pounded it pretty good. So I like this position. I brought it in closer than I thought I would, you know, for these guys coming in with trucks. But I figured at this kind of an angle, they shouldn't be getting any closer anyway. This is off of there's a dip right here where it kind of goes off. So I put it right at the edge. So if a guy's coming in with a trailer or something, he's going to have to swing further out. Trailer's going to follow through here. It'll be a little tight, and if they don't like it, they can go over to this road, back in and pull forward this way. The road's not busy at all here, and for me long term this works out better. You know, if I'm pulling out, I can pull out right here and just get out of my car and check the mail, or if we're coming in, I can park here and get out and walk around. That's why I really wanted it over here, but it's not going to work. So that's the next best thing. I like it there. Worst case scenario is down the road I pull it all back out and do it all over again. And I bought my numbers yesterday, and the lady cashier told me, hey, so you don't lose these. Even though she gave me a bag, I should have just put them in the little bag. She's like, put these in your pocket so you don't lose them. So I put them in my pocket, and now I think my pants are in the dirty clothes with 3 stickers in them, the numbers. So I'll go home and check that today. Anyway, I got a mailbox out here now with no numbers. But we do think we're going to we'll put numbers on that. And then I'm thinking about putting maybe numbers on these fence posts as well, so delivery people don't have an excuse for missing us. Since we don't have a house on site and we'll be having lumber and all kinds of stuff delivered, I want to make it real obvious, like, where are we? And once we get established too, there's a few bigger things that even come through Amazon. I'd rather have it delivered out here than to my house and having to carry it here. So yeah, we're going to make it real obvious what our address is here. All right, guys, changed my mind again. I'm allowed to do that all the way up until when I actually do it. I could still change my mind after that too, but then I'd have to undo what I did, and that's more work. I thought I was going to put the trees down here, and it is sort of flattish till you get on it, and then you notice how slanted. It's not super slanted. I just thought, you know, when the trees are sitting in buckets, any kind of little slant that can fall over. Further down to this tree in the middle, that's a little bit flatter right in here. Here is more slanted, and there, right there, is flatter. However, up here I feel is even flatter, or more flat, easier to work with. I am right on the property line, but I'm not really worried about it. I don't think anybody's going to say anything that I have back here a few trees within a fence. This is forest. I don't think anybody cares. And then from this, there's a little yellow marker right there. That's our property line. Going this way, it goes further into the forest. So right about where I'm at is actually inside on the side of our property, on our property. So yeah, I'm going to put stuff here, and then my goal is also with this is to learn better. I don't know if you've noticed when I'm using the auger that it's not always straight up and down, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to know it's straight up and down without having to keep getting off and on the tractor. Maybe it's not possible, I don't know. And then there's play with this. It moves around a little bit, you know. So I'm attempting to learn the trick of going up and down. But I'm going to be sinking these heavy duty guys in that I showed you. But I'm only going to go maybe to here, whatever, maybe like a foot or something, a foot and a half, whatever keeps it just enough to keep it secure so it's not going to push around. And then I ordered 7-foot galvanized cloth, no 6-foot. These are 7-foot, so I ordered 6-foot, and we'll just wrap it, and then I'll make some kind of a temporary door that I can get in from one side to the other. So that's the plan. I think I bought 200 feet, so I think it's 200 feet. So I think we're just going to do maybe a 10 by 20 for now. So that would be 40, 50, 60 feet. So that's what we'll do for now, and I can always expand it later if I want. Alright guys, you might ask, why am I even drilling with a T-post? Like, why am I doing the auger instead of, why don't I just take my ram and ram these down? Because they don't really got to go that far. But I am only 6 foot and it's 7 foot high. So I'd be reaching up above myself and pulling. And you know what? I've got a lot of work to do on this. I'm going to call it homestead. That's the plan. So I've got a lot of work here. I've got years and years and years, and I'm not getting any younger. So when I got this, why not use it? So I'm getting used to the auger a little bit, figuring it out. I feel like I might have put these holes. I wasn't measuring super well. It really doesn't matter to me, but it is mattering to me right now. I threw myself off a little bit. I like things to look somewhat okay, but anyway, this hole looks like it could have went to the right a little bit. Anyway, I am getting used to the auger, and I am really appreciating it. I don't know if any of you all have ever used post hole diggers, when you have this, mamma mia, it's a night and day difference. So wonderful and beautiful. So I'm really appreciating these implements and tools, and the fact that we someday would like to put fencing all the way around this property. Now I don't have to dread post hole digging it all the time. Just use this. So I am happy about that. I don't even know how happy I am about that, because I haven't had to use post hole diggers, the handheld ones, so I can't even appreciate to the fully. I've used them in the past, but just not on this property. So I know it's hard work, but if I were to do that and then do this right now, I would really appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna try to put these posts in, just see how they go, how they work, if it fits, if it feels good, and then we'll be done with this little project until my mesh comes in. All right, I just did a quick job there. Again, this doesn't have to be fancy, and it doesn't have to be great or perfect or anything. So I just made all the land does slope slightly. This end is a little bit higher than this end. So if I wanted to get super picky about it, I'd have to knock this down and level the land and all that stuff. I ain't doing that for just some trees. So I kind of measured from the ground up on all of them about 5'6" to 5'7". They're within an inch or so of each other. So that means the netting that I get will go up to about 6 inches above the top of the post. And then I went ahead and just kind of well, I took my level and made sure they were relatively level straight up and down, so they're all pretty good. No cement. Want to be able to take them out easily and get them out. But it's like I said, I'm getting this in before it rains, so I'm thinking getting this stuff in, it's gonna rain I think starting tomorrow or the next day. I think maybe the next day, I don't remember. Like I said, 3 days chance of it, so a little bit of wet, a little bit of rain, that'll kind of solidify these in, make them kind of muddy, and then dry up, and hopefully it'll be fairly firm. Also, this is Diego setup, Diego and Niana. Every one of us did something a little bit different. They're going to go a little bit smaller with a 6x8 shed, and Home Depot, Niana knows the deals. Home Depot was running a sale on these. They're usually $2 and something on these blocks, and they had them, I think, for 68 cents. So they saved a few bucks there for sure, and mounted them up on these, whereas I used the small little bricks. I got those for 49 cents or something, so mine were cheaper, but they weren't beefy like these. And then we went to the pallet place, same that we've been going for all these other pallets, and it happened that those guys were actually burning them that day. So Diego was able to find 4 of them that were pretty doggone close to each other in size, and so he got this leveled up pretty well, and they ordered a shed last night, and then they can get out here, I think Saturday maybe, and put this up. So awesome. Shed. That's where we're at on that. He's doing a good job. All right, guys, I took that pipe and I cut it in half. I didn't really know how long to make each side, so I just cut it at 5 feet. So this one's supposed to catch the water draining off. I think they'll both do it. Maybe they'll both catch water for now. Well, that little project's done. All right, you guys remember the tire saga? The tire ordeals that I've been having? I'm just gonna, I have a little time today, kind of doing a bunch of little projects, and it's something that's been on my mind to just check the tires, so I'm gonna check the tires right now. And if I need to, I'll blow them up. I'm really happy to announce that all the tires were basically within a pound of 2 of whatever they were supposed to be, so they weren't really low. Yeah, I'm happy and impressed. They looked a little low to me when I was looking at them. I was like, I don't remember what they're supposed to look like. So it's just something that's been weighing on my mind. Just want to check it, and now it isn't weighing on my mind. Everything's good. All right, guys, my battery was almost dead on my phone or on my camera, so I didn't video this. I was charging it when I did this, but I just wanted to come over and show anyway. Sometimes I wonder why it takes me so long to figure things out, like the obvious. But I was paying attention to when I was dropping this auger into this hole, and these would go down and hit the dirt because, you know, it's far in, like this one over here, it was far in. And so I was only getting down maybe this deep, like only 2 feet or something, because that's higher. So I took a pickaxe and I pickaxed a trough right here so that this could go down in it. But then when this went down in it, I got down to a point where these were hitting the ground. So then I finally got smart. And at first I started pickaxing this bank, and then I thought, hello, I have a bucket. So I turned the tractor around, bucketed this, and cut into the hillside, put it up here piles, then back this in, drop this down where it didn't even really hardly hit, and these didn't hit the ground at all. And once this was resting on here, so I could even go lower, but I would just keep dropping that auger down and then pulling it up, dropping it down, pulling it up, and it just kept pulling more and more dirt out. And then I'd hand pull from here, then I hand pushed away from here. Now I don't know if you're gonna be able to see in there, but that's plenty deep now for my, that's more than 4 feet probably, down to the bottom. And then regulations are that gets dropped in 4 feet, I think, and then you need to put 2x4, at least 1 to 2 staked up to support it as well, because remember, it's just a temporary pole, so it's going to come out. You don't want to make it permanent. But anyway, I wanted to show that where I dug in and got that done better. And I'm not really seeing a point of having the auger now unless I were to have to go down deeper there, but I hope I don't. So I think I'm going to take the auger off now and put the box scraper back on. All right, guys, you know I don't usually show you me hooking up and unhooking up implements too much. I never know how long it's going to take me, and I just do it. But this time I'm going to try to time lapse me doing it so you guys can see how hard or how easy. I don't know how that's going to go, but I'm going to take this off and put the box scraper back on. So let's see how it goes. All right, the pressure was on that, wasn't it? I had to put on a good show. It was a little bit difficult getting this thing off, but always easier to get things off, seems like, than getting them on. I don't know. This went on not too bad. So I'm slowly getting the hang of some of it. I don't know. All right. Well, you got to see me put the implements on and off. All right, the next thing I decided to do is, you know, these pits that I dug a while ago, the first 3 that were so full of rocks, I'm going and picking up these big ones, and I'm putting them on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them up front. I'll show you when I get there, obviously, where our drain pipe goes under the road, under our driveway. I want to put these rocks around it so it helps stop the mud and all that junk, and it'll just look nice, I think. All right, so I put some rock up here on the neighbor's side. Her pipe is up there. I don't even know if any water can get through it. It's so chunked up, but I do know water kind of collects right here. It's kind of a runway. So I put some rock there to kind of slow the mud and junk going through. And then we're going to come over here and put it here to catch it from it, keep it from just wiping this out. You can see it already has started to dig in, but look how clean this is, and I want to keep it that way. You can see all the way up there. So keep it nice and flowy and put this rock in here. Okay, I made quick work of that. I put rocks here on the side to try to help slow this erosion as well, because I have a feeling someday this is all going to come off. I'll have to just keep piling dirt there. Or at some point we may widen this with a little more gravel as well. But this looks cool, I think. Decorative. And that way we won't wash this all out. Alright guys, it's almost 4:30. I went down over this again and smoothed it out a little bit more. And then I went over this end and smoothed it out a little bit too. Just so when the rain's coming, it's not a bunch of, it'll go down easier, downhill. So I did that. And then I got hung up on, after I dropped the rock up here that I showed you guys, I started getting smoothing the sides out of where I could along the road. So Roger had told me that it'd be a good idea for me to smooth some of this out. Well, this I tried over here, but it's full of garbage, first of all, on the right side still. Like, you know, this is where I cleared a lot of bushes out. A lot of garbage, and on this side too. But this got a lot of root systems over here, and it was just a booger. I went over it 4 or 5 times, but I knocked a couple of lumps off the tops of hills, but still so full of rocks and garbage and roots. I had a hard time really doing that. So anyway, eventually this side on the right hand side here, well, my right hand side right now facing this direction, will become a privacy hedge. So I'm not too worried about it, but it does look kind of gross right now. Then this other side on the left side, I just did some kind of leveling and pulling it off, kind of like what I did to the back there, where I can eventually kind of mow. I can mow this side without falling off, and kind of smooth things out and make a gradual incline down to the grass. So it's almost 4:30. It has felt like it's going to rain for the last 2 hours. It's gotten pretty chilly, and I mean it feels chilly. My car says it's 57. No, it feels chilly and just cloudy. It's not showing that it's going to rain, but it sure feels like it. That's exciting. I just came over to check the mailbox just to make sure it's still sturdy or whatever. It looks all right. And we got our first piece of mail. An election mail. That's funny that I already got mail. I just put that up today. It didn't even have my numbers on it. All right, well, I guess a vote is a vote, right? Well, let me put this right here. It's kind of windy. Anyway, it's kind of cool here. So yeah, I'm gonna wind it up for the day. Go home. Should be back out here tomorrow, I hope. We'll see if it rains or not. Just sure feels like it's gonna, but we'll see. If not, I'll be out here, and I'm thinking about cutting down some trees around that pad. I don't want any trees falling on my house, and I'd rather get them down before we put the house up, obviously. All right, guys, I will see you guys the next time I'm out here.